So I managed to get my hands on the DJI Pocket 4 Pro in the United States, in California, and I shot an entire daily vlog on this camera to give you guys as much real-world sample footage as I possibly could. I have no agreement, no contract with DJI. My thoughts are entirely my own, and I'm going to give you my honest truth about this camera from a professional standpoint. Today is the first day using this camera, and with it being the 4th of July this weekend, I thought this would be the perfect time to film a relaxing day in the life starting at 6 a.m. In order to get the most of this camera, and honestly any camera, I bought these ND filters from Freewell. This not only helps balance the exposure during bright times of the day, but it helps pull out richer colors from the sensor of the camera. The first thing I do in the morning is heat up some mineral water and add lemon, honey, and salt to hydrate and give my body electrolytes to fuel my morning warm-up. After shooting these first few shots, I quickly found the best way to get nice balanced colors was to set the camera to auto white balance for about 5 to 10 seconds. Once it gave a stable reading, I switched it back to manual white balance to lock it. I found that doing this made it much easier to color grade later on. While doing my morning warm-up outside, I watched the playback of the footage to see how it looked, and at this moment is when I realized how good the dynamic range really is. I shot all of this footage in 4K 24 frames per second at 1/50 shutter speed and 400 ISO, since that is the base ISO that DJI recommends in order to get the most out of the camera. Using these camera settings really helped me get such vibrant, rich colors, and to be honest, it comes scary close to the colors I can get out of my Sony FX3. Of course, not the same, but considering how small and portable this camera is, it really is impressive. And not to mention, it has a gimbal built in, but it's not all perfect. In fact, there are a few things that did slow down the filming process throughout my day, and that has to do with the telephoto lens. The fact that it has a telephoto lens is one of the biggest reasons I picked up this camera to begin with, but there are some things to consider when using it. First, you can't shoot D-Log2 using the telephoto, only the wide lens. So if you're switching between wide and tele, you will have to match those colors in post. Second, when you switch between the wide angle to the telephoto, it roughly doubles the exposure. I do find this to be really inconvenient because if you have an ND filter on to expose for the wide angle lens, you have to swap to a darker ND filter if you want to film with the telephoto. Otherwise, your exposure will not match. I genuinely think this should be fixed because it's not only inconvenient for exposing the image, but also because it puts stress on the gimbal each time you swap ND filters. If you want to swap these safely, you have to turn the camera on and off to lock the gimbal in place. Considering I have really big hands and the filters are small, it's honestly a little frustrating. It's not the end of the world though, but in reality, the more friction your workflow has, the more time and money it costs you, especially as a professional creator. I think if DJI, Freewell, or Polar Pro or any of those other companies were to create a darker ND filter for the telephoto to match the wide lens, this would actually solve that problem. Now that that is out of the way, let's talk about the microphone. Straight up, I don't have any complaints. It's small, it has a windscreen, has 32-bit float, and has a magnetic clip to easily mount or hide it anywhere. This mic, paired with the overall portability of the Pocket 4 Pro, is honestly really refreshing coming from a Sony FX3. And honestly, it's kind of funny because when I switched from vlogging with my bulky Canon C70 setup, switching to the Sony FX3, I was blown away by how lightweight and high quality the image was. And to now see my setup possibly becoming even more lightweight and more portable is not only impressive, but such a relief on my arms and on my back. My wife and I love to travel, but there's nothing more exhausting than carrying 30 pounds of gear while walking the streets in the heat. So being able to carry just this camera along with my Fuji X100VI for photos sounds like the perfect setup. And speaking on the design of the camera, I prefer the look of the Pocket 4 Pro over the Luna Ultra. I have both, and I have used both, and I can say that I like the look and feel of the 4 Pro. It just feels and looks a lot more premium. I'm not going to get into a full comparison of the two, but I will say that the viewfinder turning into a remote for the Luna Ultra is the game changer that you think it is. I got the Pocket 4 Pro with the frame tap remote, but it's an extra piece that you have to charge and carry, which you risk losing. I haven't really used it yet, so I can't truly compare the two, but I have to give it to Insta360 for innovating a new product that will surely influence new camera designs in the future, especially for creators. But let's shift focus to the battery life, because it lasts long, but it also doesn't. I say that because it lasts long if the camera is static, but the moment the gimbal has to work, it uses a significant amount of battery. After about 45 minutes of using the camera, the battery dropped from 96% to 47%. I recommend bringing a power bank to make sure you always have the ability to charge the battery. On top of that, there is no way to swap the batteries on the Pocket 4 Pro or the Luna Ultra. You have to plug it in to charge. I will say though that the camera does charge really fast. From 47%, it charged to 100% in just about 20 minutes. Now overall, this camera genuinely impressed me, and it met most of my expectations. So to answer the question you're probably asking, is it worth the money and effort to purchase the Pocket 4 Pro, especially in the United States? Considering I have both, this is what I would recommend. If you already have other DJI products like a drone, action camera, or mics, don't waste your time trying to buy the Luna Ultra. You're going to have inconsistencies in your workflow, and a simple software update from either company could make your mics incompatible with each other. I personally wouldn't risk that. If you don't have any cameras to begin with and you live in the US, I recommend buying the Luna Ultra. It's available basically anywhere online and is a really great alternative to the Pocket 4 Pro. The whole intention of me making this video and actually getting this camera was to see if this thing could actually replace my Sony FX3. I think the fact that it is much smaller, it is much more lightweight, it has a zoom lens, it has a wide lens, it colors beautifully, and I think anything that helps you increase your workflow by not having to set up as much is a winner in my book. If you like the colors in this video, just check the link in the description. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Oh, sorry, er komt aan met een clearance.